Crossing cultures, crossing cultures, crossing cultures, making changes, in new ranges, crossing cultures, crossing cultures, crossing paths, making changes.
Okay, welcome everyone. This is the second episode of Crossing Cultures. We are based in Qatar. I am Keisha, so it's a pleasure to host today's episode, and I'm joined by my dear friend Muna. Welcome, Muna, to the second episode, girl.
Thank you. My name is Muna. I'm from East London, and I work here in Qatar as a teacher as well.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've both been here for 6 years now. Yeah. Okay, so my first question, and the same question I asked Rhoda when we did the episode, was what was it like working in the UK for you as a teacher?
For me, honestly, it was good. I was good with behaviour management. I was in an inner London school in East London. I got on really well with my students. At that point, by the time I came out here, I've been already teaching in the UK for about 5-6 years. So when I came out here, I guess you could call me, like a seasoned teacher, So I really enjoyed working in London. It was good. I can't really complain. I had a good support system as well. My colleagues were very supportive. So for me personally, other than, I would say, the challenges that come with teaching in an inner London school, I did enjoy myself. Yeah.
It's funny because Rhoda said exactly the same thing. Yeah. It's like we miss the UK teaching because of the community spirit, the students, the characters of the students. It was just really different, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was really different.
Make it.
Yeah. What subject do you teach?
I teach chemistry. So imagine teaching chemistry anywhere in the world. You have the same challenges. But just going off on what you said in terms of teaching in London, the kids are amazing. They are so funny, and they're so, honestly, they are so kind. And when I was leaving, I got so many gifts, and it really, it's sad to be going, but at the same time, you have to do that for your own development.
Yeah, you have to. I remember telling my tutor group that I was leaving, and the kids were just in absolute silence. And then I started to cry a little bit because I saw the disappointment on their faces. Yeah. And I said to them, I said that as teachers, we are always telling young people to go for their dreams. But there's a lot of dreams that we're not exploring. Yeah. So I think that until we completely explore some of these other passions that we have, we will become better teachers, better educators, because we've lived the journey. Yeah. So it's really difficult. It's like, if you teach students about being wealthy, but you're not wealthy, how do you completely do that if you haven't experienced it yourself? So for me, I had to explain to them, look, I have to go and live out my passion. I have to live out this dream of mine so I can come back and tell you guys what it feels like to live somewhere else and to teach somewhere else. But the kids are more or less all the same, whether you're in the UK or here. But the challenges that the kids face are completely different in London to Qatar as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Completely different. So what do you miss about teaching in the UK?
Honestly, the banter with the kids. That was, there were times when you're literally crying, laughing in class because they're so funny. I miss as well making a difference. You definitely see the impact of what you're doing a lot more. If you're that teacher who's there after school, they can come and talk to you. They can, they have that support system. Those couple of minutes that you take just, helping them with a question, you can really see it makes a difference. And I think as well, especially because I'm Somali and having, Somali students and I guess being a role model, regardless if they're Somali, black, just for children to be seeing, there's a female African Muslim woman who's, a female and woman who's basically teaching us. And that's just, I think that's been really, that's been really important for them. And I've had students who've thought about teaching because of that as well. So it makes a really big difference.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. That is brilliant. Yeah. Okay, why Qatar? And our stories. We both met at the airport.
Yeah.
We both met at the airport. We didn't know we were going to go to the same school.
No.
And Mina was like...
I saw you in the queue, and I was like, oh, what a lovely couple. I saw you, with a man that was like really tall walking with you. And I was like, oh, what a beautiful couple. And then I'm in the line behind you, and I see a few more people who I've realized are also going to Qatar and whatnot. And then when we get to the hotel, I was like, yeah, I saw you. I was behind you at the airport. You were with that man. You guys are a lovely couple. And you were like, no, that's my son.
That's my son. It's my son, girl.
I was like, okay.
That was so funny.
But yeah, I think that was the first time I saw you. I honestly, Qatar, because it's not Dubai. I wanted somewhere that was just a bit more neutral. Like for me, I like the Middle East. It has an Islamic environment. That's something that I enjoy. The benefits are good as well. And I just wanted something that wasn't the hustle and bustle of Dubai.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a calmer environment. And honestly, when the role came up, I thought, you know what? It's scary. I'm going to be scared, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's one of the most challenging decisions that I made.
I came to the airport with an empty suitcase.
Yeah.
My suitcase was empty when I landed. I went on holiday to Somalia beforehand. Everything was gone.
They rinsed you.
Literally. So I come to Qatar with an empty suitcase. You can hear it like things moving around.
Oh, how life has changed. Because now we're using all our kgs. We're not messing around with our luggage allowance, I tell you. So my other question is, how is working in Qatar different to UK? Like, especially teaching science and the demand for the kids to do better in science, because there's more of a, what would you say? There's more kids that want to take science.
Yeah, the parents are definitely passionate about science here. I think in the UK, kids have a bit more flexibility. There's a lot more routes for them to take in terms of education, internship, working. Whereas for the kids here, because their parents are working here, they really expect those high grades in science and maths. And so there is that pressure on the kids. You can definitely sense it. I'd say the main thing though, the difference I would say teaching-wise is, I mean, the resources here are unbelievable. Like, that's one thing that really actually gets to me, that we have these resources available, whereas in the UK, we don't have those kind of resources. And it's just something that every day I'm just grateful for. Yeah.
And I think the kids really want to learn here as well.
They do.
Like, they're very competitive. You know, they all want to be A students, because they know how important those grades are, you know, to get into medicine. There's a lot of pressure as well from the parents, because the parents are sacrificed because they have moved from their home countries to provide for their families as well.
I think that's it. Like, they don't have that, I guess you could call it a safety net.
Yeah.
Like in the UK, you have that. They don't have that. So it's even more pressure for them to do well.
Yeah, there is no benefit system here.
There is nothing.
There is no overdraft.
Nothing.
So if you have no money in your account, you have no money.
No.
Simple. So I think the kids get to appreciate things a little bit differently as well when they see their parents working so hard, sending money back to their home countries to build and invest in their children, you know. So there's a different drive and passion.
Yeah, and the way they view money as well is very different.
Yeah.
Like in the UK, you'd see kids with, honestly, a lot of money at times.
Wearing the best trainers.
Yeah, designer shoes.
Yeah.
You know, the designer jacket. Here, kids are just a lot more humble. But it could be also be because it's our school. There are other schools that are different. But there's just a different view about money. Like, things that we think are important aren't that important here. I mean, you can rock trainers from 5-6 years ago. No one cares.
Yeah, it's very true. They're not materialistic.
They are not. No.
They really are. And they're very kind as well. They are very kind students. So we're very, very lucky. Yeah. Very lucky. How's your life changed since you've moved to Qatar?
I would say, you know, other than being your neighbor, it's been it's been really good. Like, you know, the amount of bills that I was paying in London, and imagine I was living with my family, my car, electricity, gas. Like, I was paying for so much that by the end of it, I always had to ask someone for £10.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I definitely notice is a difference. You know, I can travel a lot more. We've been to more countries. We've been able to, like, if someone needs something, you don't think twice. You're just like, yep, got it. It's done. Like, it's things like that at first I didn't realize, but were kind of a source of stress at one point. Like, you were really stressed out thinking about, oh my God, like, I haven't got that £10 for the petrol that I need. But how is that possible? I got paid 3 weeks ago. How is it possible that I've got money in my account and I'm going to have to go into my overdraft again because I'm struggling? I can't go out for that meal again because, you know, I don't have that money available. So whereas here now, Alhamdulillah, like I'm so grateful to God that He's placed us in a position where, yes, we have, financially that stability, but also I guess that ease of mind that comes with it as well.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really do. Like, similar to what you're saying, is that you work so hard, you get your degree, you get your teaching qualification. And I guess it's not just the teaching role, it's just employment full stop in the UK because of the tax system.
Yeah.
Even if your pay goes up, the tax increases.
Exactly.
So you're constantly kind of like running on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And, this is why like money management, learning how to manage your finances is so important. And I will always advocate that schools need to teach it more, 100%, because then we probably wouldn't have been in the situations that we were in when we were younger or before coming to Qatar. But I definitely feel that the whole thing about not being taxed makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Even if you're on the same salary, just the fact that you're keeping all of your money makes such a difference.
We're not paying rent. We're not paying towards electricity or gas.
Right.
I mean, these things make a difference.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like the fact that we're living in a way whereby, our rent isn't most of our income, that is a massive thing.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
lot.
a game changer.
It's such a game changer.
Yeah.
You have this space, that equivalency in the UK, you'd be paying a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
You'd be paying a lot more.
Yeah,
There's
we're
no chance.
very grateful,
Yeah.
with most of the teaching jobs that you get the accommodation that comes with it as well.
Yeah.
So we're really grateful that, we have that. And everybody has different apartments based on your situation. So if you're single, you're getting 1 bedroom. If you're married or with children, you get a really nice villa, 4-bedroom villa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on it. I need to get
Inshallah.
myself that villa. But yeah, we're very, very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky. Okay, so we have so much more free time. How do you think that's kind of changed, like in terms of what you do outside of work now?
I think in the UK, I would definitely stay in school a lot longer. That's one thing I would do, because the kids just appreciated it. And I as well, like, I'd rather they hang out in school and stay with us and learn a bit of something than having to think about them going outside or anything like that. So you do have that free time because the kids just go home. The streets are safe. I mean, the gangs here are 4-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Like, literally. So you feel, for me, it's been good. It's been good for me to just reflect on a lot of things. You just pick up hobbies as you go along. You socialize, you make friends, and things I didn't have time for before. I know it's silly, even simple things like exercise, going to the gym, but the fact that you have the time, you can get ready and you can go, and there's things you can do. It's just so many things. Like you just really feel like you have this time. Okay, there's things I'm going to do with it, and every year we find that like there's something new that we're picking up. If it's not a course, if it's not a new skill that we're picking up, because we have that time. So definitely, like this podcast, really grateful for it. Again, able to do that with our time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I also do feel though that you can become quite stagnant. So you have to be careful as well, because there were a few years where I wasn't doing anything, and it was because of lockdown that I was like, right, I'm going to go and do my Senko course, because it was something that I hadn't had in my bag yet. I did everything else, leadership, but I've never done Senko roles, additional needs. I wanted to really figure, actually kind of just venture into that field and see if I liked it. And I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for lockdown. 100%. It's just that I just felt like I needed to do something. Coming home, most people take naps. I did that a lot, to the point where it was like, okay, I napped, and then you're fighting to wake up. Then you eat, you might watch something, and then you shower,
that's
go
a bad
to bed,
habit.
And then it becomes like a routine.
That's a bad habit to get into.
So you have to really break out of that.
Break out of it. Like for me, I can go to bed at 8.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind. Like right now, I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I'm ready. Like 8, because a call for prayer in the morning, we hear it all the time as well, and it's nice to wake up for it and wake up early. It's just about getting into a good routine. But you're right, you can become really stagnant. It can become a bit of a comfort zone where you're hiding from a lot of the world. But the more you take risks, like the same way we've done to come here, and the more you take risks to travel, the more you take risks to go back home and like you do, invest. These are the things that make us human.
I guess so. 100%. And as a a Muslim as well, like it must be really different coming to a Muslim country where you can actually practice your faith without any apology. You know, even like experiencing Ramadan here for the first time, listening to the call for prayer as well, that is so different, because that used to wake me up in the morning. When I first got here, I was like, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
What's going on?
I was getting up at 5:30 every morning. I was like, really? Because it was so loud, but now I sleep through it. It's like 4:30, isn't it? Not 5.
At the moment it's around 3:30.
Right. So I used to get up all the time. Now I'm so used to it, and even sometimes when you hear it, it's so beautiful. You know, to be in a country that they acknowledge and practice faith so openly here. Sometimes you'll be at the airport and you see people praying at the airport. It's outside. Beautiful to see, to witness. How has that impacted your faith in your journey?
I think it really can go one of two ways. Like, you can either take it for granted because you're so immersed in it, whereby you think that, you know, it's all around me, it's something that's just there, or you can really make the effort to understand it. And I think for me, I've been grateful because they've got a lot of mosques here, they've got Islamic centers here. The Ramadan hours are shorter. That was one thing that was like, thank you, God, yes. Like, that really was like, and on top of that, we finish work early. We've got Ramadan hours at work as well. So, like, it really is just so nice. You really get into the habit of it and, like, the spirit of it. I think another thing that really stood out for me was the World Cup. Like, the stadiums in a Muslim country where there's no alcohol. My goodness, that was so unbelievable.
Yeah, because people did struggle with that. They're like, how are they going to do that? But actually, so you know what? This is the rule of the country, and you're going to, you know, respect it. And to be fair, it was really good. It
was amazing.
It was such a well-organised event.
Yeah, we're wearing an abaya, and we're literally, like, so comfortable walking around. And it's just so nice to see, and how people were wearing abayas. People that were visiting were wearing the thobes. Like, it was so nice.
They
and,
were
like,
really indulging the culture. 100%.
It shows you that our differences really are not that big a thing. Once we learn about each other, and there's so much. Exactly, there's so much we have in common. And it's just really nice.
And it's very safe here as well. I feel it's extremely safe. So my last question already. We come to the last question. So in terms of, like, you know, I think this is going to be the last question I ask everybody that comes on. What advice would you give somebody who's considering coming out to Qatar or just going to another country as a teacher to work? What are some of the tips that you would give?
I think the tips that I would give is make sure that you are ready. Because my first term that I was here, I was like, I don't know about this. This is weird. I'm not around my family and friends. I don't like this. It's too quiet in the house. You know, where's the noise? Like, you have to make sure that you're okay with yourself. That's so important, because if you're not okay with your own self and your own company, then staying here is going to be hard. Like, we've seen so many stories of people just literally, like, just one holiday. They're gone.
December half term.
Key under the doormat.
And you're like, where's that girl gone?
Literally.
She gone. Sorry, she left. You hear it all over the schools, in anywhere, any expats. Sometimes they just can't hack it, and it's not for everybody. And you won't know until you try it.
That's
the thing. But one of the things, I never used to like my own company before coming here. So now, oh my gosh, you know, sometimes it's hard to leave the house. I'm very content in my own space.
You're the only person I know who enjoyed quarantine.
Oh man,
like, that was.
I made sure I picked the best hotel with a sea view. I was like, I'm good. They're giving me 3 meals a day.
And everyone else is struggling. They're like, what's happening?
Listen, I used to stand at that window and just be like, this is so nice. No one's bothering me. I'm not getting no phone calls. I was good. I was so good. And the food was nice. I was in my elements. I had to teach online at that time as well, but it wasn't for a long period of time because we were just introducing working on teams. I was good.
But it's something that shows you that you're okay with your own company. That you're able to, you know, keep yourself busy and, you know, to create a social, like, group around you as well. And again, like, for example, you knew Rhoda before you came. So that, I think that maybe that helped. Whereas for me, I had a cousin who was already here. That really helped. So just to reach out to people as well in that country, because remember, everyone is going into this alone. Like, we all turn up Okay, even if you have, you know, a friend or a cousin here, they're not going to be with you the whole time. You turn up by yourself. You have to be okay with your own company. And honestly, just go for it.
Yeah,
just
100%.
really just go for it. It's a risk. Everyone is scared.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that it's a lot easier to make friends in this country.
Yeah, because everyone's in the same boat, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine wherever you're going to, could be, you know, however far it is, we're all in the same boat. And so I think honestly, just the fear as well, I've realized it goes with time quite quickly as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I remember when I was boarding the plane,
Yeah.
I was crying. I was on the phone to my mum. Yeah, I started crying because it was so scary. Even the night before, I was crying on the phone to my aunt. And I was just like, I know I'm doing the right thing, but it was that the fear and anxiety was really kicking in, because it was like, this is really happening, really, really happening. But the minute I landed, and then I saw the sign with my name, I was like, oh, is this how we're moving, yeah? And then the guy took my trolley. Ma'am, I'll take your trolley for you. And then I got in the car, and I had the water in the car. Like, everything was done for you. And I thought, this is my life.
But then look at this though, we all meet up in the hotel.
Yeah.
So we're all like feeling like this.
Exactly.
And we all meet up in the hotel.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just like, you know, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Me and my empty suitcase, we're just going to rock up to wherever we need to and just meet people along the way.
Yeah. I will say that financially though, it took me about a year to get on top of my finances here. It doesn't happen straight away. It takes about a year for you to adjust to the exchange rate, because I was buying stuff and not realising how much it was in pounds.
That's true.
And then when I really caught onto it, I was like, oh my God, I just paid £3 for some chocolate. So my conversions were out for a minute.
Yeah.
And then you have to time as well. You have to figure out how much you're sending home, how much you're going to live on. So it takes a little while for you to get used to that. And then I was flying home every half term. Had to stop doing that because it wasn't feasible. But yeah, it took a little while. So people coming out and they're thinking, 2 years. Actually, you know what? The first year, you kind of have to see it as a write-off. Yeah. Unless you know completely that you're planning.
That's definitely one thing I would say. The first year, just get what you need to get. Yeah. Just take that first year to get what you need to. And then the second year, start maybe, you know, like saving up. But to be honest with you, there are people who come here who already start saving. You already are like, you know what? I have a target. I have to reach that target. The guys are a lot better at it. I'll be very honest with you. We like to shop. It's okay. Yeah. But you know what?
We eat out a little bit more.
And it's okay. But you know, if you come with that mentality, yes, you will save more. But you know, it's okay to enjoy yourself along the way as well.
100%.
Each to their own.
Yeah, I agree. Still have to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Still gotta live.
Large.
Oh, Mina, thank you so much for joining me for the second episode. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you. All right, this is Crossing Culture. Stay tuned for the next episode. And thank you for watching. Take care, everyone.